First way to create culture carriers is that you gotta be what you wanna see. But secondly, is that you have to clarify roles. And this is like, I'm trying to deconstruct this, but I wanna try to give some examples around this. In my notes, I actually have clarifying our team's roles, and I wanna try to explain what I mean, because I'm not just talking about like, they need a job title and a job description, and thank you, Patrick Lencioni and The Advantage for telling me that, but when I say clarify roles, there's things that you need that only you know that the environment needs it, and you need to get so crystal clear about what that thing is that you need people to do. So let me explain. Dakota Duron is here on the front row, and he actually leads our JDD location. Dakota, how old are you? He's 25 years of age. It's his first job in ministry. He's leading a location right now. I think they have about 1,000 people every Sunday. He preaches, he teaches, he and his wife, they're doing an amazing job. But Dakota's 25. And if you ever get around Dakota, he is like the best culture carrier in the world, but he has a unique gift that he's an atmosphere changer. He's funny. He's the life of the party. He can like disrupt any moment, and he can make it really, really exciting. And so when Dakota came onto our staff, I said, yo, Dakota, like, you know when we like circle up for staff meeting and like, you know, people are kind of like lacking energy, I need you to have the presence of mind that you don't ever, ever, ever get to be one of those people. I need you to realize that your gift of humor and your joke that's a little bit on the fringe that probably took us a little bit too far, I wanna let you know that's part of your role here at VOUS Church. All of a sudden now, I just clarified for him what the role is that he is in the spot. So he knows we're looking around a room and it's lacking energy. I just go, I look at Dakota, he's like, oh, he gets up and starts doing something. Because at 35 and being the leader, I can't play that role anymore. But at 25 and being who he is, he can get up there and he can make all sorts of noise and he can say stuff and he can change the atmosphere. I gotta clarify the role. My friend Kyle Graham is up here in the front row. His wife, her name is Brianna Graham. Now her job title is VOUS Kids Director. And on a Sunday right now, she sees anywhere from 400 to 600 kids, and she has 2 other staff members between 2 locations. It's a big world that she's managing a mobile kids area. I clarify her role that she's the VOUS Kids Director, but Brianna also knows that when it comes to carrying culture, that she is Mama Brianna. I don't know, like since the day I met her, she's just like one of these kind of people that their whole life is on an Excel spreadsheet. Like you meet these people, it's like, did you go to college for Excel? They're like, no, I'm just passionate about it, you know? She's the most organized. She is intense when it comes to the details. And so everybody, listen to this. Everybody on our staff knows and our teams know that Brianna, when it comes to, are you wearing your servant leader name tag at VOUS Church? I don't care if you're the highest level person in our organization. If Brianna sees you without a name tag, she has every bit of authority to discipline you, to actually speak to you and say, what are you thinking? Because it's her gift mix and we need it on our team. She's culture police. On the org chart, it doesn't show up on the org chart. She's over here as a kids director, but she can walk up to our CFO. She can walk up to our general manager and she goes, excuse me, where's your name tag today? And they're like, exactly, get that thing back on. Because she's been empowered to do it. I've clarified the role. Some of you guys right now, what's happening to you is that you're in the starting phase of something and you're so concerned with being so organized and so polished and so sharp that you're missing out on the culture of how people are actually behaving. And some of us, what we need to do is we need to clarify the gifts that people are around us, and we need to be intentional with knowing what it is that our space needs. I need a comedian. I need an accountant. I need somebody who's gonna come around and keep people in line. It's what we have to clarify roles. I want you to walk out of this place understanding that the more you can bring clarity to people's roles and what they bring on the team, the more they're gonna feel empowered to do it. Number 3, I want you to write this one down. I like this. You have to change confrontation's connotation. So if you're gonna create culture carriers, like you have to change quickly confrontation's connotation. You're gonna have to create a work environment, a place where confrontation is not like the exception, it's the norm. It's the only way things can grow. It's like when there's conflict, It rubs you kind of wrong, but the byproduct of it is always growth. There's going to be a new result. And for some reason, this idea of confrontation, it's got this negative connotation attached to it. Like, oh, I'm in trouble. No. If you have a coach, the moment the coach quits talking to you is the moment he quits playing you. It's just the truth. Like, as soon as this guy isn't up in your ear, yapping in your ear, you can rest assured that your playing days are probably coming to an end. Yet the more the coach is riding you is because he's actually seen potential inside of you. I think some of us in this space, we have to realize that in order for us to get the results that we're looking for, there's gonna have to be a combustion of confrontation. I'm telling you, you have to learn how to eat awkward conversations for lunch. You don't like awkward conversations, you're not gonna go very far in leadership. It's full of awkward conversations. How you doing? You ready for an awkward conversation? Why'd you do that? Excuse me? Why'd you do that? Because it's not just about saying who you want to be, it's actually challenging who we're not. You're never gonna, if you don't want to get better, then don't confront anything. But you can't change what you fail to confront. And you get what you tolerate. Once again, go back. When leaders lead, the people will willingly offer themselves. Quit saying people won't do this and start saying we haven't led them to do this. I hate to say this, but I'm talking about myself. You get what you allow. So whatever you got, you allowed it. And the only way it's gonna change is by confronting it. The only way it can get better is by having an awkward conversation and saying, hey, listen, like that's not actually how we do this around here. We're going to adjust and I want us to do it this way. At VOUS, we want a culture of improvement. We want to be, some of you key leaders and some of you lead, you need to be sticking your nose into stuff, man. You need to be finding out what's actually happening. You got to inspect what you want. You got to actually look into it and say, what is this? Is this what we actually want? I don't want to be afraid of confrontation. I want us to be a church that's full of coaching. Look what Hebrews says. This is a beautiful passage. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 7 says, endure hardship as discipline. God is treating you as his children. For what children are not disciplined by their father? If you are not disciplined, and everyone undergoes discipline, then you are not legitimate, not true sons and daughters at all. As I'm pastoring VOUS and I'm pastoring our staff and our team, there has to be levels of confrontation. Otherwise, they're not true sons and daughters. They're not true disciples. A father's heart is twofold. It's affirmation, but then it's also correction. There's this moment for sure that you celebrate them, but you also have to coach them. And many times what happens to us as leaders is that we just get so tired of the awkward conversations. I know for me, sometimes I put confrontation out in the distance, but listen to me, confrontation has an expiration date. And if you're always confronting something that happened 2 weeks ago, what you're really doing is you're bottling it down and you're waiting until your emotions can lead you to the point that you've had enough. You need on your team and in your organization to change the connotation of confrontation, that the culture itself is one of improvement. It's one of checking each other. It's one of saying, let's get better, that we're gonna sharpen each other, that we're gonna grow. You gotta speak to the room and say, that's what we're gonna be. And I think if you came over to headquarters, you would find a whole bunch of people that are constantly having conflict in meetings, having tension in meetings, but they're coming out of it saying, we want to get the best results. We want to get the best results. And that's why we're going to confront, and that's why we're going to challenge each other.